Good morning, welcome to the Fit to Flourish podcast. Let's talk wellness, finance, and growth. What's up, guys? Mr. Fit to Flourish. Today I wanted to talk about stocks and coffee. So stocks and coffee, we do this every week with the Discord. What's going to be happening in the markets? So let me pull that up here. And what happened in the markets, all right? So let's get right into it. So stocks and coffee with K5 and Fit to Flourish, we always start with the quote. The quote is, you don't always need discipline to win. You need only to change your environment to make it easier to win. So this talks about the concept of having the 5 closest people around you. They need to be go-getters. They need to be ballers because they will help you win. Okay, so if you feel down and out, like you can't make it, just surround yourself with those people, the Ed Miletts of the world, the Myron Goldens, the Deepak Chopras, the Dan Zangers, Mark Minervinis, like winners, okay? Surround yourself with these winners, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, okay? Surround yourself with these winners and you will just essentially and inevitably win. So we have the best team in the world with this Discord, resources in the Discord. We talk and look at live charts every night. We literally say what's going to happen the next day and then it happens to the T every single time. It's pretty nice how we've gotten really good at price action and predicting future price action based on current events and market structure. Okay, so we're like the AI, right? But we talk about drawing key levels, making big plays, and then we trade live every morning. So this week, myself and K5 will both be live every single morning. And then we want to provide as much value as possible. So we've hosted masterclasses on shares trading and investing, stocks trading, setups, options trading, key levels, options, complex strategies, part 1 and part 2. So really good stuff. We had a trading bootcamp last week that was awesome. It was hosted for those who watch our YouTube channel and then those who are on Instagram and just people in general. And then we also had a lot of our Discord members join as well, okay, for a review. And then a weekend review. So this week we had huge NVIDIA puts a couple times. We had Apple calls. We had Amazon calls back to back. These were calls that we predicted in the live the night before. So we were like, hey, in the live tomorrow, we said tomorrow morning we're taking calls at the open. And we took calls at the open on Thursday and Friday. And they went crazy both times, okay? And there's a lot of volatility in the market, which means that there is a lot of opportunity. So some upcoming events in our Discord. And currently we're doing a 3-day free trial for the Discord. The link is in the bio because this is going to be on YouTube. Link is in the bio if you're interested. A lot of people keep saying like, oh, I want to join your Discord, but they don't want to invest in themselves. If you invest in yourself, or the first step in investing is to invest in yourself, okay? So that's the only reason we put a price on the Discord, because we had a free Discord with hundreds of people and nobody took it seriously. Nobody really had the drive to actually be a trader. People just want call outs. People want free money. But those who invest in themselves are a certain quality of people, okay? Those are the type of people who are actually going to pay to join something. It's not about like, oh, make money off the people who pay. No. Which is why we try to keep the Discord pretty small. We want a good community of people, okay? I don't care about, oh, I'm a trader. I don't care about that. Okay, we want a good community of people, quality people. And I just want to be around, me and K5, we want to be around quality people to make money with and grow with these people, okay? So, but anyways, if you do want to check out the Discord, 3-day free trial for those interested on seeing what we're about. We're definitely way different from any of those Discords that you probably already joined that were pretty trash. All right, so anyways, So we're doing a $500 growth account. So I'm going to be documenting this on YouTube every single day. So if you're live on the YouTube right now, I'm going to be documenting the 500 growth account, and pretty much giving a daily updated section in the Discord as well on, hey, we went from 500, now we're at 700, now we're at 1800, now we're at 30K, 50K, 200K. Okay, so we're going to grow this $500 and show how easy it is to do when you're trading options and when you know what you're doing, okay? And when you don't have those unrealistic outcomes. So at first it might look pretty slow, but then it's going to grow pretty fast. We're also doing a mastermind mixer. So in July we're doing a yacht mixer. This is going to be completely free for our Discord members. So it's going to be in Tampa, Florida. It's going to be hosted by Toasted Associates. It's going to be really fun. Okay, so we had a yacht mixer last year. This one's going to be a lot bigger. So we'll probably have to get a bigger yacht. But it's already planned out. It's going to be pretty fun to mix and mingle and to make connections with people in the Discord. Okay, we have a lot of doctors, engineers, nurses, nurse managers, financial managers, IT people in our Discord, veterans. So our Discord is pretty lit. All right, earnings. So what happened this week? Earnings. So FedEx missed earnings, beat on revenue. They tanked 11% the next day. So FedEx cut its outlook for the year after it experienced soft demand for business-to-business shipments in its fiscal third quarter, stemming from continued weakness and uncertainty. So this doesn't take into account the tariffs. So investors were concerned that they're not doing so hot, and then they haven't even taken into account what may happen if tariffs hit their business, which it likely can. Okay, Nike. Nike had a beat on EPS and revenue, but the sales are down. Sales are down 9% year over year, and their gross margins are down by 5 points, and they're expected to have slow sales into Q4, so that's not good. Okay, so the stock tanked almost 10% the next day. MU had a pretty good beat on EPS and revenue, but like we've been seeing with other chip stocks, it ran up after hours. It ran up into earnings, and then it ran up after hours, but then all of a sudden, pre-market Friday morning, huge gap to the downside. Okay, so they're expecting slimmer margin. They have slimmer margins, not good. Okay, and then in terms of economic data for this week, so initial jobless claims. So jobless claims came in better than expected at plus 223 versus 225. So we saw the market move up a little bit on Thursday, especially after a really good dovish FOMC on Wednesday. So quad witching on Friday. So quad witching was on Friday, and quad witching is basically a time where stock options, ETF options, futures, a lot of these things, they're expiring on this day. So we typically see massive moves in the markets. Okay, and also keep in mind the first quarter is ending. The first quarter of the year is ending, so we're going to see pretty volatile moves this upcoming week. Be careful. FOMC, so Powell was speaking that dovish talk again. Rates were held steady. And for the summary of economic projections, which is basically where the board, they predict how many rate cuts there's going to be. They said there's 2 rate cuts that are going to be expected this year. So here's Powell speaking that dove talk right there. Uno reverse card, markets were going down. We might be reversing back to the upside here, guys. All right. So related news and buzz. So the QQQ hit a correction a couple of weeks ago. SPY hit that correction last week. So what's a correction? It's a drop of 10% or more in an equity. Okay. So IWM had the death cross, but keep in mind that death cross, EMAs are lagging indicators. So the death cross could just be a depiction of what happened the past couple of weeks with this huge downside move on IWM. It could still cross back up to the downside immediately. All right. So is cash a bad position? Not necessarily. Pick up these stocks at these lows. Okay. Dollar cost average. All right. NVIDIA 2025 GTC. So we had the AI conference this week for NVIDIA, and it was pretty lackluster. Jensen Huang had a 2-hour introduction, and really didn't introduce anything too new. So investors were a little bit disappointed. Okay. And he also didn't really talk about the impact of chips and tariffs on chips for NVIDIA and its future. So a lot of questions unanswered. Okay. Powell says the Fed is awaiting greater clarity. We talked about this. All right. NVIDIA is getting some price target cuts, but and it's kind of stuck in that 116 and 119 range currently. Okay. And then watch Bitcoin, and the way that Bitcoin rips has a huge correlation to the markets. So a lot of this stuff we talked about for the past couple of weeks, so I'm kind of skipping over them if you didn't notice. And then year-to-date performance for the S&P 500, down negative 3% this year, 3.6%. NASDAQ, the QQQ, down negative 7%. Still in correction territory. Dow is down 4%. Small caps are down 7%, IWM. Gold is literally the only thing popping right now. Okay, gold is up 16.03, okay? And then oil is down negative 5%. The US dollar is down 4%, and Bitcoin essentially is down 10%. But Bitcoin had a huge rip into the end of the year, so I'm not too surprised that being down 10% after that volatile move up, insane. And then Trump's plan on his tariff liberation day is not going to be as bad as people expected. So the scope of the tariffs is expected to be narrower than the initially planned. Okay, so this is good. This can cause a bullish market on Monday. And then I thought this was a pretty funny meme to share. So we all know who this is. This is Keanu Reeves. So 2023, the S&P was up 28.8%. 2024, up 22%. We're happy. And then all of a sudden, 2025, we're down 3%. You turn into John Wick. Okay, pretty funny stuff right there. But basically, when we're trading, cut out the noise. Okay, cut out the noise when it comes to trading. CNBC couldn't even tell what the Fed was doing. This was weird to me. We were watching the live event in the Discord, and CNBC were arguing like, "Oh, this doesn't look good," or "This looks good." Like, I don't know what their financial background is, but it's pretty sad. I wouldn't watch CNBC. I don't watch any of that stuff. Just focus on you and your trading, and get your own training when it comes to economics, macroeconomics, and the markets. You can always go to Books A Million or Barnes and Noble in your area, or what's it called, 24th and Charles, whatever you have in your area, and read. Read these things for yourself. Don't necessarily go to YouTube and watch someone like me or something, or don't necessarily go to that and take it as truth. Go read it for yourself and learn it for yourself. Take economic courses. I took economic courses. You can pay for them online, and learn from MIT, or you can go to, like I did, or you can do and pretty much any, just pay for a course online and learn for yourself, because these people, I swear, they don't know what they're talking about. But people will show wins, they'll show their accounts, but don't worry about that. Focus on you, focus on your strategy and your account, okay? And then this week in earnings, we have GameStop, we got Oklo, and Lululemon. We don't really have too much else going on this week in the markets. And then for economic data, really just core PCE and initial jobless claims on Thursday. Everything else is just all right. And then the watch list for this week is Amazon. Amazon looks to be ripping to the upside, wants to do a $200 test above 200. It can get to 205, then 210 extremely quickly. Amazon likes to move in these $5 integers. Okay, likes to move at these $5 psychological levels. So above 195, Amazon is an automatic 200. So looking looking to trade Amazon on Monday. And then Nvidia, it's kind of consolidating. I don't like it right now, but it's still on the watch list. IWM also in that same position, so don't really like it. SPY is making pretty big moves in QQQ, but SPY specifically, the $570 level is the pivot level, so I really like that. So anyways, that's all I have for you guys this week in terms of the trading. We're going to do this $500 growth account, and we're going to have fun. It's your boy, Mr. Fit to Flourish, and I'm outie.